Hi everyone, this is the first movie for Word Chapter 2, Pause and Practice number 3. This pause and practice begins on page W2-95, and we begin with the file that we ended the pause and practice 2 which is Rochelle's resume. So what we're going to do here is to continue to work on this and try and make it a little more professional looking. So one of the things is, if you look at these items that she was responsible for in each of these places that she either went to school or worked at, they don't really stand out. You kind of get lost in them. So one of the ways to emphasize them is to make them a bulleted list. And so we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to select under this head teacher from develop through facilitate. We're going to select all those, and then up on the home tab in the paragraph group, we're going to find there's bullets, and then there's numbered lists, and then there's outlined or multi-level lists. Okay, so bullet lists imply that there's no order to your list. You could rearrange them and it wouldn't change the meaning of it. Of course, a numbered list implies that you do something in a specific order. And then the multi-level list allows you to create kind of an outline, if you will. So we're going to do bullets, and we're going to do the drop down, and we're going to define a new bullet because we can't just use a circle, right? We got to do something different. So we're going to find a new symbol. So one of the hard things here is just finding, not so much when you're using it, but trying to match what the book is doing. So just be diligent in following the steps that your assignments give you. So the first thing we're going to do is change the font family to Wingdings. Okay, so Wingdings. Okay, so it brings up a different list of characters, and we want to find the checkbox. Okay, now I could spend all this time looking and trying to find the right one, but I want you to notice here the character code. If I click in there and I say 254 in the Wingdings font, now 254 may exist in another font group, but in this Wingdings, 254 is this checkbox, and that's what we want. So we're going to say OK, and then OK. So now it puts little boxes with check marks in front of it, and I have all these other ones that I can do. So I am going to format painter, and I'm going to do it twice. Double click, click, and then I'm going to come and select all of these lines. Still has it on, all of these lines, and then in the education, minor, like that. You know what, I'm going to page. Okay, so minor through, and then click on Format Painter and it'll turn that off. So now we should have all of these lists that are under each of these areas in experience and education should have the bulleted list. It looks a little better, right? So they're kind of tightened up, they're indented, you can read it a lot easier. I'm going to quickly click on the save, and then the next thing I want to do is to change the theme of this and the theme color. So let's talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to go to the design tab. A couple things I want you to, every semester, a semester does not go by where I do not get an email from a student that says, I don't have the colors that they say I need. Can I pick something else? Well, the answer is no. because you do have the colors, you just have missed a step somewhere. So if you get through, and it doesn't matter which product I'm talking about, it could be Excel, it could be PowerPoint, it could be Word. If you don't have the colors in the palette that they are suggesting, then you missed a step. And you missed a step to either change the theme or the theme colors. So let's talk a little bit about what that means. So the theme has 3 components to it. It has a color palette, a set of fonts that are being used, and a set of special effects. Those are bundled together under a theme. So if I click this down, I'm going to change this theme to Ion. Okay, but watch what happens as I'm moving around. Look at my document. Okay, here's facet, integral. Look at it's changing the text. It's changing. If I had colored, you could see the palette. I want this Ion one, right? See how very different? So palette, fonts, and special effects are all 3 components are in the theme. So I'm going to do that. So I clicked theme. I now have the overall theme, and look over here at my color palette. It has changed. It now has some different colors in there, and that's cool, except I want to change it a little more. I like it, but I'm going to tweak it a little more. So now if I come in here, not only can I do an overall theme, but I can do all 3 separate. So I could just change them individually, or I could change the theme like we're doing now and then kind of tweak the color. So I want to find the red color theme. So I like the Ion, but I don't really like the color palette. So I'm going to pick a red, okay? And notice there's a little bit of a change there. And so now I have set my theme and my color theme. So you just want to always hone in on what are they asking for. Are they asking for a change in theme or a change in color theme, right? So just watch that. That's a issue that students often have. Okay, so on the first page, I want to select Rochelle's name. From the, on the Home tab, there's this big area called Styles. So these are some styles that already exist. We're going to see later on how to make our own styles, but for right now I want to pick a style that already is there, and it's the title style. So I'm going to find it, I'm going to pick it, it's going to apply it to her name, and that's good, but yeah, it looks a little big, right? So, all right, I started with that, but I'm going to tweak it a little by changing the font size to 20. Okay, that's better. It's not so out of proportion. So I've applied it, but then I can always modify it. All right. The next thing I want to do is for each of these sections, right? Profile, experience, education, skills, and references. I want to apply the heading 1 style. So profile, heading 1. Experience, heading 1. Education, heading 1. Skills, heading 1, references, heading 1. Okay, I'm going to do a save. All right, so now we have the main headings changed to heading 1, and I want the subheadings, the things that are bold and italics where it says head teacher, nanny, those, I want to change those in the experience and the education to heading 2. So I'm going to select that line, heading 2. Select that line, heading 2. Line 2. Line 2. And that's it. Okay. All right, so, okay, well, all right. It's looking okay, but look at this bottom one. Look at this bottom one. California State University, Chico, Bachelor of Arts in Child Development. It wraps, okay? It's like too big because we want that to be on one line. So what we're going to do is, and even these profiles, these are, it's a little bit big. So I'm going to select profile, and I like it, but excuse me. sorry. um, the 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 areas are not, they're kind of running together, right? Like you really don't, like you kind of get experience lost, education, skills. So I want to set those apart. So I'm going to select profile and I'm going to go into layout and I want to make the spacing before it, add a little more white space, right? So right now it's set to 12, but I'm going to up that to 16. Okay, that goes to 18. I know that's too much, so let's just do 16. All right, so 16 points. Nice. Okay, that's better. But now I got all these other ones, so I don't want to have to change those. And that is the really cool thing about styles. You put it on there, you use it, and then like you come back and you need to tweak it. You don't need to do all of them. You just need to do one and say, hey, you know what? Update everything that used this style to whatever change I just made. So we made that change. It's a heading 1. So I'm going to come up here to heading 1. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say, hey, you know what? Update heading 1 to match this selection. So whatever change I did, which in this case was just making the white space above it 16, right? So I'm going to do update. Okay, watch. Did you see experience moved? So if we look down here, education, well, now it's on a second page, which is, you can tell it. And then look, there's a little more white space. So that was nice. You didn't have to worry about that. So that's one of the really good benefits about using styles. Okay, so we're going to do another one. So like I said here, I don't like this, right? I don't like that this is going to a second line. So it's 13 points. So I'm going to try 12. Now that 11. 11. Okay, 11. Where'd 11 go? 11 makes it 1, right? 1 line. But now I have a problem, right? Because the rest of these still are at the 13. But you know what? We all know, right? This was a heading 2. You can tell because it's highlighted. I'm going to right click on it and say update heading 2 to match the selection. And now all of them are 11. And I only had to do that one change and then remember to update it. Now, you also have the choice of just updating that one and not updating the rest of them, right? And that's the other joy, right? So you can either choose to do them all, hey, save me work, or I just want to tweak this one, like maybe I just wanted to change this and leave these as the other one, as the other size. I could have done that too. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save this, and I'm a little over. Hopefully this will upload. All right, start the next movie on 2-4. All right, thanks.